Hello, everybody, and welcome back to In Our Humble Opinion. My name's Chachi. Today I'm doing it solo. Tom's on location. Had to do some stuff for work, but I'm going to start with all of Week 8's NFL action. I know we're like a little late because it's Thursday. This video's going to go on Thursday. The game's already going to play Thursday night. I might cover it. We'll see how the time lapses, or if like maybe I just want to talk about it with Tom. But be a little quicker video because it's just me. But we're going to let this roll. Okay. First game we're going to discuss Thursday nighter. Bucks at the Bills. Bills look really good. Josh Allen played very well in this game, but again, they're still a little spotty. The team sometimes they let teams linger around. It was a little bit weird game. Their defense still forces turnovers. Baker Mayfield, I give him credit. He hung in this game, but he's Baker Mayfield. He has his limitations, but he's still a gamer though. Very much respect him. The Bucks are kind of a gritty team, a little tough team to play. New format too today. I'm trying out, but really tough team to play. And I got a haircut. Okay, so it's not a big time lapse. Got a haircut. Okay, that's all it is. It's only been a week, but yeah. Bucks, they're a gritty team, but the Bills showed they're just a better team, and that AFC East is looking a lot tougher now. Josh Allen, when he doesn't turn the ball over, is a very good quarterback. But the one thing I do have a problem with this Bills offense, Dorsey just does not know how to run the offense. He doesn't know how to run the ball. You have to run the ball. You have to complement your passing game. He wants to throw the ball 50 times. You got to learn to run the ball. I was discussing this with Tom. You have to learn how to run the ball. I know it's a new era. We throw all the time, but running the ball still, you need that to complement your passing game. It's very essential. We'll see. It's early in the season still. Maybe the Bills can get a complimentary running game eventually, but as of right now, they're a good team. But in order to take that step, they need to learn to run the ball more because right now they're so unbalanced. But there really is no great team, so I would say that is the silver lining to this. I think the Bills, in the end of the day, are going to be a contender. As far as the Buccaneers, they have a lot to. They're a gritty team, but they have a lot to clean up. They're very up and down, and with the quarterback like that, like Baker, where it's kind of up and down, you don't know how far you can go. But again, it is early in the season, so we'll see. Final score of the game, by the way, was Bills 24, Bucks 18. Let's go to the next game. We're going to do Jets against the Giants, and the Jets won 13-10. It was a good defensive game. I do like Tyrod as their quarterback for the Giants. He runs the offense very smooth, keeps it in the right direction. Very good game manager, and with that defense they have, that's all you really need with him. I think they could be a really, now I don't know what the way their record started, but I think they could be a really tough team the rest of the way. Maybe even challenge for a wild card spot if they get on a little bit of a run. Daniel Jones, I just don't get the contract. It was very rushed, like you thought you were going to be stuck, so you signed him. I don't see it. His first takes a couple reads, a man starts running. He's just not. Complimentary football, you'd be good. And speaking of complimentary football, the Jets, they're doing a great job of it. Yes, Zach Wilson still has his issues, very much so. Has a lot of growing to do, but it their defense is really good. Their running game's really good. If they can keep up that formula, I do think they could definitely be a wild card team. And hey, they said Aaron might come back. You never know if they can get to the playoffs, get close to the playoffs. Maybe he can come back and be the hero, man. You never know. Technology, man, it gets better every year. You never know if he can come back. Defense looks really good. It was actually a really good game if you like defense. If you're a defensive savant, as I am for these football teams. Love me some football. Defensive football. 2000 Ravens, baby. That was bread and butter. But it was a really good defensive game. And the Jets at the end stole it. I was impressed with Zach Wilson at the end of that game. Very, very clutch on that last drive. Two big throws. Win the game 13-10 in overtime. It was great. Great defensive battle. Let's go to the next game. It's going to be the Patriots at the Dolphins. Now, I believe this was like everyone thought it would go. It was Patriots always play tough in their divisional games. Their defense is pretty good, but Miami's too much firepower. Eventually, it just caught up to them. Patriots, Mac Jones is what Mac Jones is. It's just okay. Can't really keep up. Their offense really couldn't keep up with Miami's, and you knew after a while it was just a matter of time before that game got a little too out of hand for them. They couldn't keep up with the points Miami was scoring. Tua is a very solid quarterback. I mean, there's nothing you can really say about him. Besides that, he's a very good quarterback. Like Tom always says, that's a track team, man. You Ferraris, man, everywhere. Tyreek Hill, even when you double him, he'll still get by you. He's so fast. It's a team that can run you out the building, and in that game, it's felt inevitable, and it ended up being inevitable. Miami's still a very good team in the AFC. Definitely going to be there probably in the end, barring injuries. You know how football is. Patriots, they're in a real tough period right now. They're playing harder, but there's just they're not a very good football team, and it it's defensively they're good, but they're just a little bit behind the times. Man, we'll see how that goes. Now we'll go to the next game. Sorry, it's a little faster today because it's solo dolo, man. Sorry if it sounds a little speedy too. This game, I watched a lot of this game. The Cowboys at the Rams at the Cowboys. They beat them on all three levels. It was a beatdown. They had a pick six by Deron Bland. They had a blocked punt. They had Dak was throwing it all over the place. They were running the ball decently. Dallas looked really good in this game, and it's nice to see that right before the Eagles matchup next week, which is going to be nice. Dallas won the game 43-20. It's on your screen, but say just to tell you the score. The Rams, they are good. Have played hard all year. Really impressed with Sean McVay, but talent wise, they're just missing a lot of talent. It's not the most talented roster in the world. Um, Eventually, same thing. Dallas just came out playing hard today. CeeDee Lamb was a monster in this game. They just overwhelmed them, beat them. They were down big early, and it just snowballed after that. They kept fighting, but Dallas just a better team. So we'll see what's going to happen in this Eagles matchup. It's going to be a really good game. I can't wait to watch it. Anyway, let's go to the next game. Next one was Vikings at Packers. This is the one where I wish Tom was here. He had better insight with his team. I did watch a lot of this game. The Kirk Cousins, first off, the Kirk Cousins injury, really sad, man. Guy plays hard every year for them. It sucks they would have an Achilles tear right when they're kind of getting their season back in order, near 500, doing a great job coming back. Packers, a lot of offenses. It's just there's no cohesion. It's a lot of young guys. They don't run the ball. They don't use Aaron. They don't run Aaron Jones enough. It's very hard to watch. And the young dudes drops. To blame Jordan Love is lazy though. It's a lot of things. That team just on offense. There's no camaraderie. These young dudes are dropping passes. It's a whole mess. Defensively, like Tom said, Joe Barry. It's very predictable. He does some wild stuff. I mean, Preston Smith was amazing on that. Everyone's probably seen it. It's been on TikTok and everything on social media. Preston Smith did a great job covering their tight end, but you don't want to put Preston Smith in coverage as a big man. But Packers have a lot of problems. They're trying to figure it out. I think by the end of the season they will be a much better football team. And in Jordan Love's case, I say you need to exercise patience. We need to be careful with just throwing someone under the bus that quickly, saying they're not good. You never know. It's early. It's first time starting. You gotta give them time. And the drops. These young receivers are making a lot of mistakes. If you watch the game, you know you can see it. As for the Vikings, defense is really rolling out. Danielle Hunter didn't get traded, which is where we'll go over the trades too. I would go by the teams, but hey, Vikings they were starting to hit their stride, and now Kirk got hurt. Like I said, they traded for Dobbs, but I don't know if that's gonna fix it. We'll see, but we'll see. I mean, that's all you can really say. Next game is going to be Texans at Panthers. I think this game was. I watched a lot of this one too. I think C.J. Stroud, of course, looks good. The Texans are definitely a new football team. Defense is playing a lot better. It's definitely a credit to D'Amico Ryans. He's a great hire by them. Texan guy, defensive guy. It's showing up on their football team. And the Panthers, Bryce Young. I love this game for him. It showed you. It was like a spotlight game. You had to watch him. The guy's good. Everyone's like he's a bust. No, dude can play. Dude can flat out play. That team is just line's not very good. The offensive weapons aren't very good. Thielen though has played well. That was a great security blanket to sign. They just need more weapons. They need to surround the guy with a better offensive line. More importantly, because some of the plays he was making were ridiculous. I mean, he avoided the 1 sack and made like a 20, 30-yard throw to the left sideline. It was a great throw. It was a really good throw. Adam Thielen, like I said, has been clutch for them. It was a really good defensive game. Panthers pulled it out in the end with a field goal. Bryce Young led the drive. Guy looks legit. I think he's going to be the real deal. Both of these guys, they're going to be around for a while. We'll see, though. Panthers just need to improve. Texans been playing decent all year. I think they're going to be really good in a couple years, both teams. Let's go to our next game. What's our next game? Our next game is Eagles at the Commanders. Okay, A.J. Brown's been amazing. That was a clinic, catching everything. They were double teaming him. They were trying everything. This man caught everything. He had a great game. Jalen Hurts. The offense is a little weird now. They don't run as much, but maybe they're waiting for the colder weather. I don't know. They're just winning games. They're a tough team. They got Bird from the Titans. Darius Bird. He's a very good player. I think he's going to help a lot with their secondary because they have lacked a playmaker at the safety position since C.J. Gardner-Johnson left. The Commanders, I think Hal is a very good quarterback, and I think Eric Bieniemy is doing a great job. I really do. The team's defense has just regressed a lot from their previous seasons, and that's another reason Chase Young got traded. I do think that was a good trade for the 49ers. I don't know if it's going to fix all their problems, but you did add to a D-line that was already really good. They're definitely sellers, apparently, the Commanders, as we all saw, and I get it. Their a defense like that, you're not going to win many games. They have to improve that. It's becoming like the last straw for them. They're really running out of time in this season. They got to really start turning it around because that division's got two juggernauts in it. You got to get better quick. But I do think the Eagles will be fine. This is definitely a matchup this weekend coming up for them to prove themselves. I think it was as much as the Cowboys. The Cowboys laid an egg against the 49ers, but the Eagles really haven't had a test in a while. So we will see how they deal with this because this is not one of these teams where they can just drift along the game and then win it at the end like they've been doing. You have to show up here, and their defense has been kind of wavering the last few games. So we'll see what they got. Final score of that game was Eagles 31-38. Commanders 31. Our next game, the Jaguars at the Steelers. This was a good one for me. It helped my Ravens out. The Jaguars defeat the Steelers 20-10. I thought the Jaguars really they kind of were doing like the Ravens, kind of keeping the Steelers in the game. The Steelers just couldn't quite, because it was inclement weather, couldn't quite get enough points to take the game back. But a lot of turnovers. That Steelers defense is great at causing turnovers. They scare you. They're very chaotic. They're a tough defense to deal with. Got a lot of people that force the ball out via fumble, and they also get a lot of interceptions. Very physical team. Very physical team. Respect the hell out of them. Jaguars, they're hitting their stride now. The turnovers scare me a little bit, but on defense, they get a lot of turnovers too. That's what no one's talking about. They're very good defense to get turnovers. Much better defense than you would think. Because you watch them, you don't see them, but they have a lot of good players on the defensive side of the ball. And Calvin Ridley really is playing well. He was a great pickup by them. Really good wavelength with Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne, just a really good football player. One of the most underrated running backs in the league. He can do both things very well. Gets a lot of yards after the catch. He's just a really good player. I think the Jaguars are going to be a tough team, and they're going to definitely be there till the end. I think this might be their year to take a step in the AFC, seeing as the Chiefs aren't playing as well. We'll get to them soon. I think the Jaguars look legit, and the Steelers, they're going to be tough, like they always are. They're going to be there till the end, and you're going to have to knock them out. You can at least count on them to be 500 at worst, and I think they're a little better than that this year. It's going to be tough. That's a tough division, so by all means, it's not over. Really good game. Jaguars again won 20-10 over the Steelers. Let's go to the next game. Sorry if I'm flying along. I want to keep this rolling because it's only my opinion. It's not Tom's too, so it's going to be a lot quicker. Falcons at the Titans. Now this game was wild. The Titans won 28-23. This game is wild. The Falcons, Desmond Ridder is not the answer. I'm glad they went to Heineke later on in this game. The Levis, Willis, kind of Malik Willis, and the Levis kind of like 1-2 thing was kind of wild. They were running. Malik was the running like option guy, and Levis was the passing guy. But Levis had a very good first game. 4 touchdowns. He got the ball to DeAndre Hopkins, which was a big issue that no one was doing that when he was like Tannehill was having trouble doing that. I'm sure Tannehill will probably go back to being the starter, but I think they should keep Levis in there and just see what he's got, which they did in the Thursday night game this week. We'll talk about that at the end, but I love what the Titans were doing in this game. Levis had a really good first game. He was throwing the ball. Derrick Henry was complimenting him very well, but he was making the throws to make that work because he was keeping him honest. Got a big arm. I don't know. Got a little bit of happy feet, but it's his first game. I'm gonna give him time. Looked really good though for his first game. 4 touchdown passes is terrific. That's amazing. That rarely happens for a quarterback. Kind of caught him off guard. I don't think they thought they would see a lot of Levis, the Falcons, because that is a very good defense normally. And then for the Falcons, like I said, I think it's time. They said they're going to start Heineke, and I think they could be a much better team with him at quarterback because he is a gamer. They have all the weapons and all the tools, and they're a really talented young team. I want to see what in these next 4 or 5 games with Heineke starting. Hopefully, with Heineke starting, give him a real shot. Arthur Smith, please. He's a very weird coach too, by the way. I don't understand him sometimes, especially for being an offensive genius or whatever. But I just want to see where they're at after 4 or 5 games with Heineke because I think the guy is a much better fit for this team because he is a gamer and he knows how to win games. It's what he does. He keeps you in every game and he makes big throws. Anyway, let's go to the next game. Got the Saints at the Colts. The Saints won this game 38-27. The Colts, again, they're just a team that's really trying to win, but they're a really solid team. Really hard to play, but they're so up and down. It's like some weeks their defense looks amazing, some weeks their offense looks amazing. Gardner Minshew, like always, keeps you in the game. He is a tough competitor. The Saints, just a talented team, and finally their offense showed up. Normally their offense is just they've been so sporadic, but when they show up, they're a tough team because that defense is really good. They got playmakers on all 3 levels. Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, the Honey Badger, Lattimore, they're loaded on defense. And if you complement that with a really good offense, Derek Carr finally played really well. And they did the best thing they did. Taysom Hill, they used him all over the place like you're supposed to. He is a jack of all trades. He's really good. Just use him everywhere. He's really hard for a defense to prepare for. They had him throwing the ball. It's really smart to do that. It is tough to deal with them when they're using him like that and all their weaponry. That is a team that could be scary. They could really gel later on. It's still early in the season, like I said, so it's what I could see them really hitting their stride later on, being a tough out. But we'll see. Everyone's got to stay healthy too. You know how football is. So our next game, Browns at Seahawks. Now this was a weird one because it was kind of back and forth. The Browns were kind of winning, and the Seahawks was kind of a defensive struggle. In the end, Geno Smith made enough plays, like we were talking about before in our other videos. Me and Tom were talking about. Geno's a really good player, and he's had like such a crazy career arc, like from all the stuff happening where he was kind of got humbled, and then now he's like this humble, really good football player, solid, and I mean he's a very good quarterback. He wins games. He's complimentary football with Walker, who is a tremendous running back. Which Ravens, you better stop that guy because if he starts running, we're in trouble. They're a really good team. Got defense. Got a solid offense. Got a really good defense. Young rookies. Weatherspoon's really playing well on the defensive side of the ball. Bobby Wagner, future Hall of Famer, great linebacker. Always fun to watch him. I think the Seahawks are going to be really solid all year, and the Browns, that defense is legit. Myles Garrett's a monster. Newsome is just a loaded team all over on defense. One of the best defenses, top 5. These are 2 top 5 defenses right now, and they're rolling. That's the thing I love about football this year. There's a lot of good defenses, and I'm just loving watching it because I am a defensive guy, believe me. Anyway, final score of that game was Seahawks 24, Browns 20. Let's go to the next one. We got the Bengals at the 49ers. The Bengals won this game 31-17, and this is the one I want to talk about the most because the Bengals look like they're back. That defense is finally getting over the Jesse Bates when he left. They're kind of like gelling, look really good. Offense looks explosive. Joe Burrow looks like he's back. Man, I was wrong. That man was fine. I was just worried about him hurt again, to be fair, which he didn't. So now he's looking good, healthy. Knee looks strong, making those throws to Jamar Chase. The line's kind of gelling a little bit. Part of that, though, we'll go over it. I saw how 49ers like mush rushing and like stunting instead of just letting their guys go, and they're kind of running into each other. It's a whole mess. We'll get into 49ers in a second, but the Bengals look really good. Jamar Chase is rolling. That connection with them two is ridiculous. Joe Mixon, they're loaded on offense. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd. Oh man, that team's really good. They're going to be tough. That's the one I'm scared of if I'm the Ravens, because they are going to be on your butt at the end of this season. What's that ass? They're going to be on your ass. They're going to be there. That's a tough team. They are. They can play. They're gelling. They're gonna be rough. 49ers. We're finding out Brock Purdy's a solid quarterback, very good, but and when the weapons ain't there, my man is having. You're seeing it now. He's not quite there to take over game 3. He is part of the system. I'm not gonna say he's a system quarterback, but he needs stuff to be going right for him. Okay? It's not going to just be, hey, Brock, win the game for us. You have to compliment him a little bit. And the defense hasn't been playing as well, and the offensive line hasn't been playing as well, and they don't have their weapons. See, when it all happens, he can't really hold the game down like a Mahomes usually does for the Chiefs, like when they're having a rough time. Lamar sometimes for the Ravens. It's guys like that, they're winners when they do that. Him right now, he's not ready. He's still developing. He's having a little trouble winning these games when everything's not perfect. They're forcing him to beat you, and he's not able to do it. He's showing you a little bit of that Mr. Irrelevant last pick in the draft skill, where he's kind of missing throws and they're getting intercepted. I do think the Chase Young trade was a really good trade. I think that line's going to be hell to deal with. That's a lot of really good players on that line. Bosa, Chase Young. Oh, it's loaded, and their D tackle. Oh, they'll be tough. They're going to be really tough. And I think they're going to get back on track later on in the season. I don't think they're done by any means, because they're going to get Debo back and they're going to be rolling. But I'm interested to see, is Brock going to have games where he's just making these mistakes, because that's going to kill you in a playoff game. You can be rolling and he just makes that one mistake. Close games, that's always in the playoffs. It's going to lose you the game. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Let's go to the next game. This one is the Chiefs at the Broncos. This was the most surprising one of the whole day. We had the Broncos win 24-9. Pat Mahomes apparently had the flu. Travis Kelce had a rough game, but Broncos always play him tough, especially Simmons. He is very good. He has a lot of picks against Mahomes. You could look him up. It's just every game he gets 1 or 2 against them. It's wild. Their defense came to play. The Broncos are a scary team, because now the defense is starting to play like last year. And that offense is definitely playing more efficient than the year before. Sean Payton finally I think his footprint's finally getting on this team. He's finally getting his stuff all in order there. It's looking a lot better. Russell Wilson looked very good in this game. The receivers, Jerry Jeudy, Courtland Sutton, they were making plays. Defensively, though, that was the key. Did a really good job of keeping Mahomes kind of bottled up and making him throw from the pocket, not letting him get loose all the time, make hard throws. He was throwing picks. The fumbles they forced, they were very physical in this game. Love what I'm seeing from the Broncos. The Chiefs, though, watch out. You're not the same team you were. They got to be careful. They're playing a lot of close games now, so it's a couple mistakes can lose you a game. Before it was like, hey, we're up by a lot. They would get up by a lot or it's a little different. They don't have the explosion they had on offense before. You can't score quick. It's Travis Kelce. People are starting to figure out you need to cover him. He's their guy. Because these other receivers, they're just not making the plays they're used to. Mecole Hardman, I do think, will play a lot better after a couple of weeks. He needs to get back acclimated to the offense, because he can be their deep threat. But I think the Chiefs will be fine. I think they're going to be there in the end. But the Broncos are the storyline to me, because if they continue to win, they could be a really tough team and really wreak havoc in the AFC. Like, really make some noise, because that is a very balanced team. That defense, you got Surtain, you got Simmons, Jewell, really good passer. They're a good team. They're sleeping giant, man. I think they could be a rough team to play later on in the season. Maybe even make a wild card. You never know. But very impressed by the Broncos. Beautiful victory. Chiefs, keep it up. You'll be fine. They're going to be there. Next game, get the Ravens at the Cardinals. Now this was a wild one. So first off, I am very impressed with the Cardinals coaching staff. They never give up. That team, their running game is really good. They were running that ball hard and getting big carries. If it wasn't for Michael Pierce, probably would have been worse, because he had a great game for the Ravens. But Ravens look solid. did what they had to do. The score is not indicative of how they won by more than it says. The game at the end was, it just got a little scary because they got an onside kick and they made a couple plays. It was wild. I mean, Dobbs is a gamer. I mean, he's no longer with them. I think it's because Kyler Murray's coming back. I'm almost positive. I think that's why they were like, hey, let's make this deal, which is going to be a boost for their offense. Kyler Murray's a very good football player. I think Cardinals are going to be a tough team, especially at the end of the year. Maybe even a little run now because that defense plays hard too. That is a tough team. I was very impressed with them. As for the Ravens' defense, played well. I mean, at the end they were a little but it's the end of a game. I don't know. It's kind of weird how that works. Still think they're playing very solid. Like I said, there's no great team. The offense is starting to really find its stride, though, with the play calling and everything. Really running the ball. Gus Edwards does not get talked about a lot. He's a very good football player. 3 touchdowns in this game. Ravens look like one of the better teams in the NFL. We'll see if they can keep it up, because that's the thing. It changes the way the NFL's been. You look good, and then you lay an egg. So we'll see. They got the Seahawks this weekend at home. Got 3 in a row at home. See how they do. Seahawks are tough, though. It's going to be a really good game. The Cardinals, though, actually was the most impressive thing I've seen in this game was them. They were just a well-coached team. They played hard for their coach. I love their coach. Gannon is a really good coach. I think in a couple years that team's going to be really good, like really good. 49ers, you better figure it out because they're going to come for you. I really think so. And McVay's definitely, he always figures it out. He's a very good coach. So let's go on to the next game. Our next game will be the Bears at the Chargers. So this game was a very weird game. I watched it. Very boring kind of game, to be fair, like from the standpoint of I thought it was inevitable what was going to happen. Like, the Bears just couldn't really get anything going offensively, and the Chargers, they were moving the ball up and down, scoring. It was very weird. It was a Chargers, very, very loaded team. They have a lot of talent, but sometimes I think they just go for the big play too much. Herbert's a great player, but I think they go for the big shots. Their coaching is not very good. As for the Bears, Baguette, I think is his name. The young kid. I hope I'm saying his name right. I like what I see from him though. He has good command. Their offense is just kind of stale. There's not a lot bad line, but he always looks kind of under control. I like Justin Fields, but you might want to give this kid a shot. I'm not sure. I mean, your season's kind of already done. You know you're going to get a high pick. I mean, you might want to look at both of them, assess which one you would like to keep, and if you're going to fire everyone, I mean, maybe you can trade both of them. They both look good. The Bears, though, defensively, I don't want to hear anything bad about the linebackers. I do think those 2 linebackers play hard on that team, and I think they were good signings. I just think your team has no direction right now. Just got to figure it out. Offensively, you have weapons. Mooney, Moore, he's really good. DJ's a very good player. Running game, Khalil Herbert's going to be back soon. That'll help. That's your big running back that you guys really wanted to give the ball to more because of injuries you couldn't. I think the Bears just need to assess everything. If you're going to get rid of coaches and GMs, maybe you want to get the guys you want to get in next year. Maybe you can audition these dudes for other teams. But I would really consider giving both quarterbacks a shot because if Justin Fields isn't doing it for you, this kid looks like he's got good poise. You might have found a gem over there at the later rounds, you never know. Chargers, really talented if they can ever get this all together and have a little game plan because it always seems like we're going to go for the big plays instead of there's no sustainable drives ever on offense. It's a weird team. They're just like, hey, throw the deep throws off of 7-step drops and get your quarterback hit a lot because he gets hit a lot, holds the ball a lot. You got to get rid of the ball sometimes. I don't know if that's a function of Justin Herbert or the offense, but it certainly seems like the offense. Staley, to me, is not the best coach. I'm not a big fan, but we'll see. Like always, they're kind of teetering around 500. We'll see what they do later in the year. Maybe they gel a little bit, get a little better. Definitely have the talent, so we'll see how that goes. Next game's going to be our Monday Nighter. I would say it's the last one, but we're going to tackle the Thursday Nighter as well from this week. We got the Raiders at the Lions. I watched this game, and let me tell you something. Josh McDaniels and the GM got fired, and they should. That was a joke. I don't know what they were doing. There were plays. Jimmy Garoppolo, by the way, you got rid of Derek Carr, and I'm telling you, he would have made that throw to Devontae Adams. That was sad. That man was so open. Because the thing is, you didn't even have to try to lead him. You just had to throw the ball throw the ball up in the air. There's no one near him. Just throw it. Give them a chance to run under it. The Lions, good bounce back, but the Raiders, they gave that game away. I mean, the Lions played well, but the Raiders, come on, bro. Like, what was that? I mean, they kept you in that game, and you just didn't want to take it. I do think the Lions, like I said last week, they were going to be fine after that Ravens game. They just ran to a buzzsaw. It was just the Ravens were home. They had a really good game, and they played a weird defense where they played man. I don't know what happened there, but they played really well in this game. I still don't know about their defense. The Lions' defense does have some lapses, but and offensively, Jared Goff, he's good, but in inclement weather, he's kind of like Tom was saying, kind of weird. I don't know. He has trouble with it. I do think they're going to be a good team, a really good team. I think they're going to win the division. Obviously, they're going to be very good. The Raiders, though, they're a mess. This was more about the Raiders. They were a mess. Love Dan Campbell, though, great coach. But the Raiders, God, that is a mess. Hopefully, they figure it out with their next coach. Josh McDaniels, stay an offensive coordinator and probably in New England because your offense is garbage. I'm not a fan of him. Final game that we're going to go over is last night's Titans at the Steelers. Steelers won 20-16. I did like the way Will Levis played for the Titans. Guy really does play hard. He's a gamer, man. I appreciate that. That man just the young dude stayed in there. It's a tough defense to play against. Threw the pick at the end. He had a little bit of happy feet again. I don't like that. Shades of Kyle Bowler. I don't like the happy feet. But has a strong arm. Made some throws. Titans, always gutsy defense, play well. Kenny Pickett, you can say what you want about Kenny Pickett. Makes the plays at the end of games a lot of times. He is clutch as a clutch quarterback, and Pickens is probably one of my, if not my favorite receiver in the NFL. I just love his toughness. The guy has great hands too, catches everything. And I'm a Ravens fan, so I'm objectively telling you that dude is a monster. Doesn't get mad, doesn't say nothing. They don't throw him a lot of passes. He don't care. He just makes the plays when you give him a chance. Steelers, though, your running game needs to get more balanced. It's not there a lot. I think it kills a lot of drives. Najee Harris needs to do a better job. But defensively, they're going to be there because that defense is really good. TJ Watt is an animal. Love the guy. No helmet on tackle. Greatness, man. But we'll see where the Titans go from here. They kind of were sellers at the trade deadline. They sold a lot of people. Bird is a great safety. It was really crazy giving away. Always made plays against the Ravens too. I know he's good because he's just annoying, and that's how you know a player is good. You want him on your team. But the Steelers, they're going to be there till the end. Titans, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I do think you have a future now. I love Vrabel as a coach, and now you have your young quarterback to try out, see how he is. Seems like Levis is the way to go there. But yeah, it was a heck of a start to the week. I will say that. We'll see what the Ravens have this weekend against the Seahawks. And thank you guys for watching. Tom should be back next week for the show. If you like the videos, subscribe to our channel for more of them. And likes, as always, are appreciated. And as always, stay awesome, my friends. And never forget, roll tide.